Now at 6, quarantined from class.
We really saw it as what was needed to kind of hopefully put a reverse to this drastic stuff we saw going on.
A local school district is facing some tough decisions after a COVID exposure forces hundreds into isolation. Also, holiday warning.
We're looking right now at the same numbers we had in December and in January. That's frightening.
With a busy Labor Day travel weekend ahead, we'll tell you what top COVID experts want you to know. Pet store rescue. Dramatic body cam footage of the race to get animals trapped in a mall pet store fire out of harm's way. And welcome back. The IX Center is reopening, and some of your favorite trade shows and events are returning.
From the WKYC studios, this is What Matters Most.
And good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Russ Mitchell.
And I'm Laura Cascio. Tonight, a Medina County School District feeling the impact of the pandemic just days into the start of the new school year.
Hundreds of Wadsworth City schools, students, employees, and staff are quarantined over COVID exposure, and the district made a major decision about mask mandates. Our Lindsay Buckingham has the story.
The sound of students playing here at Franklin Elementary School, precious. But the reality is that nearly 65% of kids here are in quarantine.
Our team worked to identify anybody that was less than 6 feet, more than 15 minutes in a 24-hour period of time.
More than 500 students and staff members are currently quarantined in the district. Masks were optional at the start of its school year, but on Monday, things changed.
The board decided to go ahead and implement a requirement for face coverings for the next 3 weeks.
Superintendent Dr. Andy Hill says the district saw around 700 students quarantine last year. Compare that to the past 2 weeks. He says the district's decision was necessary.
We just felt like right now the across the board was needed just to try to get this under control and get these numbers down.
Still, Hill says the district is working on getting back to a safe place when parents get to make the call on masks.
Our board is very serious about parental choice and parents having the ability to choose on these type of things.
Local epidemiologist and pediatrician Dr. Amy Edwards says there is no choice.
Masks have been shown again and again and again and again and again to reduce the spread of COVID. I'm so tired of people coming after the science as if there's some doubt about it.
And Wadsworth, not the only school district seeing those large quarantine numbers. Coventry Middle School in Summit County currently has 151 students at home. And as far as the mask mandate here in Wadsworth, the board will meet again on September 20th. They say they'll be talking about case numbers and data with both the Ohio Department of Health and the Medina County Department of Health. And from there, they'll decide on whether or not that mask mandate stays or goes. In Wadsworth, Lindsay Buckingham, 3 News.
And another kind of health problem at a Summit County school district is keeping kids home from school again tomorrow. Barberton High School will hold remote learning to allow for exterminators to inspect for bed bugs. This is for the high school only. All other buildings and buses will operate as usual. Normal in-person learning will resume at the high school on Friday.
The state now reporting a whopping 7,102 new cases of COVID in Ohio in the last 24 hours. Now, this includes a backlog of cases of more than 1,000 from August. But still, we are seeing a very high number tonight. And with COVID numbers trending in the wrong direction, there's a word of warning from federal, state, and local leaders when it comes to Labor Day travel plans. They say if you are unvaccinated, stay home. It comes down to the Delta variant and those who can't get the vaccine, specifically young children.
Mask up, get vaccinated, social distance. Messages we've heard over and over to stop the spread of COVID-19. Now another message from the head of the CDC. Unvaccinated people should not travel over Labor Day weekend. Those who are vaccinated should wear a mask.
If gathering with family and friends, remember that spending time outside with others who are vaccinated will help to prevent transmission. Throughout the pandemic, we have seen that the vast majority of transmission takes place among unvaccinated people in closed indoor settings.
A message echoed today by Cuyahoga County Health Commissioner Terry Allen.
If you're staying home, we encourage you to follow the safest bet and celebrate outside. Go to the lakefront, for instance, to reduce the risk for COVID transmission.
Right now, 53% of Cuyahoga County residents are fully vaccinated. That does not include anyone 11 and under, and the Delta variant continues to surge in the state.
We're looking right now at the same numbers we had in December and in January. That's frightening.
Concerning for COVID expert and UH doctor Kenneth Remy.
We are seeing more patients steady. Over the last couple of weeks, we've seen more adults, young adults especially. We've seen some children, certainly with COVID. We've seen a lot of children with RSV. We've seen some children with both RSV and COVID. And that certainly is higher now than it was if you looked back about 7 weeks ago.
Throughout Ohio, those 17 and under, as of yesterday, account for almost 28% of all cases so far this week.
Just be smart. If you're not vaccinated, go get vaccinated. It's the best thing that you can do to protect those that can't get vaccinated.
Some are wondering if the Delta-fueled surge has finally peaked with so many cases being reported daily. Well, Dr. Remy said he doesn't know if we are there yet. Here in Ohio, he does not believe we've reached our peak just yet.
Now to Afghanistan and an update today from the Pentagon. We heard from officials on the overall operation and that final chaotic effort to get out. Military leaders are promising a thorough review.
This is tough stuff. War is hard.
We want to make sure that we learn every lesson that can be learned from this experience.
Critics from both parties are forcefully pushing back, pointing to as many as 200 Americans who were left behind, despite the president's past promise to stay until every American got out. The White House vowing to keep working to get those Americans and allies out as the mission shifts from military to diplomatic.
Well, more questions are coming up into the legitimacy of a Columbus-based school and its football program. Bishop Sycamore made its way onto a nationally televised football game on ESPN Sunday. But since then, Ohio's governor has called for an investigation into this school. Our Amani Abraham has more on what we know in this, Amani, bizarre story.
Yeah, that's right, Laura. The controversy has led coaches to consider dropping their games against Bishop Sycamore. And today we learned that St. Ed's is actively seeking a new opponent for their Week 6 game. And of course, that's the same week that they were scheduled to play Bishop Sycamore. And all of this comes just days after questions and concerns over the school and its football program.
Canton, Ohio.
Bishop Sycamore was thrown into the national spotlight on Sunday after a blowout loss aired on ESPN. The questions that followed are linked to whether it's a legitimate school. Last year, Bishop Sycamore was listed as a non-charter, non-tax-supported school. Documents from the Ohio Department of Education show it listed this as the school's address at a Columbus athletic complex. A woman at the facility told WBNS that they rent out the complex to a number of teams. Recently, though, they got mail addressed to Bishop Sycamore. The school apologized and said they would fix the issue. Documents also show that Bishop Sycamore named Columbus City Schools as its district.
We don't know anything about them.
Columbus City Schools District Treasurer Stan Bohoric says the school is supposed to submit attendance reports.
They are supposed to report their attendance to that school district's treasurer. They've not done that.
Along with those concerns, the now fired head coach Roy Johnson has an active warrant for his arrest in a domestic violence case and is currently being sued for alleged fraud.
Ohio Hall of Fame Stadium.
Ohio Governor Mike DeWine says the game on Sunday brought up concerns about the health and safety of players and said, quote, it raised red flags about the school's operations. He asked the Ohio Department of Education to launch an investigation.
Now, the governor says schools like Bishop Sycamore have an obligation under Ohio law to meet certain minimum standards. So that's why they've launched that investigation. Obviously, this is a developing story, and we're going to be keeping you updated with the very latest.
This story has so many twists and turns. And just like you said, we'll keep you all updated because, of course, more to come on this one. Amani, thank you.
We have new video tonight showing first responders inside a pet store at South Park Mall. The pick of the litter store caught fire Monday afternoon from burning incense, igniting wood shavings in a back room. One dog died from smoke inhalation. Employees, police officers, and shoppers also helped to rescue those animals. The White House says President Biden will go to Louisiana later this week to survey storm damage from Hurricane Ida.
It was the fifth most powerful storm to strike the U.S. when it hit Louisiana on Sunday, with maximum winds of 150 miles per hour, likely causing tens of billions of dollars in flood, wind, and other damage, including to the electrical grid. This is drone video you're looking at over Grand Isle, Louisiana. This is one of the areas hardest hit by that storm.
And to make matters worse, gas stations are running out of fuel. Take a look at the long line to get gas earlier today in Laplace, Louisiana. Reportedly, about half the gas stations in and around New Orleans and Baton Rouge are out of gas. And human beings are not the only ones impacted by Ida.
Yeah, that's right. Take a look at this. Okay, crews went out on a limb to rescue a cow. That cow trapped in a tree, quite literally. This was a scene along coastal Louisiana, south of New Orleans. The animal was apparently swept away by Ida's floodwaters. The good news is it survived that entire ordeal, thanks to those heroes there, too.
And let's go out west, where officials are reporting progress in that battle to save communities on the south end of Lake Tahoe from a huge forest fire. One official saying firefighters lucked out when the winds did not come up as strong as expected, giving them an upper hand in fighting those flames. Coming up tonight, say hello again to the IX Center. We'll tell you who's partnering with the iconic facility to bring it back.
Then how one community is coming together to help restore an African American history museum located in a historic neighborhood right here in Northeast Ohio. Plus, we'll tell you how you can help. But first, we say good evening to the chief.
Yeah, how many of you went, oh, that's so nice when you stepped outside today? Much less humidity, cooler temperatures, brighter skies. It's been a beautiful afternoon, albeit a bit blustery. Tomorrow the winds settle down, but I think you're going to like where things go from there. I have details on what's ahead for tomorrow and the Labor Day holiday forecast too, coming up.
What Matters Most is sponsored by the Calvetta Brothers Floor Show. It's time to fall in love again with your home.
Cleveland's iconic IX Center is about to get a new life. The 2 million square foot facility has been dormant since the pandemic struck in March of last year. The Industrial Realty Group says it's purchased the stock of the IX Center Corporation and will partner with developers to bring back trade show events in the next year. And 2 of those events were announced earlier today.
The next Cleveland Auto Show will take place at the IX Center in 2022 from February 25th to March 6th. Now, it was set for December at the Huntington Convention Center, and the Ohio RV Super Show, that'll be returning to Cleveland, taking place at the IX Center in the fall of 2022.
Still no word on the indoor amusement park, which of course is there every March as well. Also tonight, it is a labor of love in Cleveland's Huff neighborhood, the African American History Museum.
And it needs a lot of help to restore it to its former glory. January Keaton talked to volunteers and board members rolling up their sleeves to help remodel the historic building, and hoping you will come out and do the same.
This is actually glass up here.
If you've ever passed the African American History Museum near 86th and Huff, you might have thought it was an abandoned building, but it is a working museum. Just needs a little love.
Well, we need money, of course.
It's been a labor of love. It's a little frustrating at times, trying to get others to see the same vision as we see it.
Founded on Thanksgiving Day, 1945 by Ichabod Flewellen, Cleveland's African American History Museum is the first independently owned museum of its kind in the country. But multiple changes in management over the years and competing with bigger projects for city and county money has made upgrading the historical space slow.
It needs a lot of work. Well, of course, but if you only have maybe 5 people trying to do all the work, and that's kind of, that's a yeoman's task.
Several years ago, the state donated $150,000 to fix the roof, HVAC system, and install an accessibility ramp and other upgrades. But there's still about $5 million worth of work left to bring the complete vision to life.
The paint has been on here for well over 20 years.
And the museum is calling on you, the community, to pitch in with a little elbow grease.
Basically, it would be, I would say, the painting, the windows, upgrading electrical, and beautifying the bathrooms even more.
Right now, just trying to scrape off a lot of the
paint.
They also need help replacing the gutters and mural artists to help liven up the exterior. Museum officials hope to have the space completely renovated by the end of September, which they admit will be a tall task without the community's help. If you want to donate time, money, or resources to help restore Cleveland's historic African American History Museum, go to our website, WKYC.com. January Keaton, 3 News.
That is fantastic stuff they're doing there. And museum officials say they're accepting walk-in volunteers every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday afternoon. It is now coming up on 6:17. Beautiful day today. You agree?
Yeah, what did you say? Oh.
I think do that again.
No,
Come on.
It just came out, but you did it. You did the same thing.
It just came out. Listen, she's an amazing singer.
Okay.
She refuses to sing for everybody.
It's really nice out.
So nice.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
No singing the blues today, that is for sure. And as far as moving forward, I think things are looking great for the next several days. At least over the next few hours, it looks phenomenal. Temperatures in the 70s, even dipping back into the 60s. If the kids, don't have to go to bed early, we've got the whole campfire thing, the bonfire thing that's an option tonight, although it is windy. Be advised, the wind would be a complicating factor in that, but boy, very comfortable conditions under these clear skies. As far as I don't even know why this rainfall forecast is in here. We got no rain coming. There's what I wanted to show you, where the rain actually is falling. It is over here in portions of New England. Man, they are getting a beat down right now in the I-95 corridor. Very heavy rain falling from the nation's capital right up through Philadelphia into New York City at this point. This will continue to move to the northeast through Connecticut up into the Boston, Massachusetts area, and then eventually offshore of Maine. But this is the remnants of Ida, and that storm just continues to have all kinds of problems that it's popping up. You can see here this black box. That is a tornado that is confirmed on the ground right now that is north of Philadelphia. There is another tornado warning here over into portions of New Jersey. So a very active line on the southern flank of the storm as it's continuing to move to the northeast. Obviously, this is moving right up into some very heavily populated areas of the suburbs of New York City. So huge concern for them. The other part of it is all this green. That's flood warnings and flash flood warnings. They have had absolute inundating rain. Matter of fact, this morning, if you have family or friends over in the Berg, man, they got hit hard with some heavy rain overnight, anywhere from 3 to 5 inches of rain falling there. So Pennsylvania getting the brunt of a lot of the rain of the remnants of Ida, but they're also going to be getting some much better weather here in the next couple of days. Of course, the tropical humidity continues on the East Coast, but we have drier air that is moving in. Ida's helping to stir all of that up. So we have the high pressure to the west that's pumping in a northerly wind, compounded with Ida to the east that's pumping in a northerly wind for us, and that's why it has been so breezy. But the air that is moving in is considerably more comfortable than where we have been over the last several days. Those dew points are in the 50s. That is very tolerable. That air is coming across the lake. We've seen a few interesting little features on the radar today. We've had reports of waterspouts offshore of Cleveland, but then we've also had a few sprinkles coming in off of the lake. I will say it's lake effect. And as you can see, I know I can't say that too loud because everybody assumes that means the SNOW coming. No, not in the forecast. But there you see the winds. We've had gusty winds over 30 today. I had a couple lamps blow over. Just a great day to have the windows open without a lamp right in front of the window. Something to remember. All right, mostly sunny skies for the rest of the evening. And in the rest of your National Designer hour-by-hour forecast, we will continue to clear out through the night tonight. Check out these morning low temperatures. Jackets on the kids when they head out the door in the morning. We'll be in the low and mid 50s. Inland areas right around 60 close to the lakeshore. Beautiful sunshine coming our way tomorrow. We'll be up in the low 70s for afternoon high temperatures, and I think everybody's really going to like where the rest of the forecast is trending. Your Union Home Mortgage outlook, mid 70s, lots of sunshine for our Thursday and Friday. Still very comfortable as far as humidity goes. 80 degrees or so on Saturday. Rain chances Saturday night into early Sunday, and then we'll kind of dance around with a mix of clouds and sun for Sunday afternoon. Labor Day looks beautiful, partly cloudy, upper 70s. No real heat waves coming, and no major humidity pushes coming either. So a comfortable Labor Day holiday for us, guys.
Laura is singing your praises, Betsy Clay.
Oh, you too.
Listening.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Betsy. Coming up, Jimmy takes us out to Berea for Browns practice.
And we'll hear from Denzel Ward, who explains why he can be one of the best in the NFL.
The Sports Report is sponsored by the people-pleasing people at Sarah Auto Park in Akron.
Hi, everybody. The Browns roster is set. Sort of, okay? They're calling it a 53-man fluid situation. They can still make changes on the 53-man roster, but they took to the field today, 53 strong. Here they go. Denzel Ward out there on the field getting ready to go. An injury update first. Jacob Phillips, the linebacker who went out with that injury, he's been officially placed on injured reserve. But let me just say this. It's a bicep injury. It happened on August 20th. Head coach Kevin Stefanski said today there's a possibility he could still come back at some point during the season. That would be good. Now to Denzel Ward in the defensive backfield for the Browns. He begins his 4th year already with the Browns. Confident he can be one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. And I'm sure in the back of his mind, or maybe in the front of his mind, he's saying, I would like to be paid too, like one of the top cornerbacks in the NFL.
Yeah, I'm very confident I could do my job at a high level and at the highest level here. I feel I stack up with other corners as well, top corners in the league. And I feel I showed that going out there on the field, and I feel my play speaks for itself.
Here he is, ready to go. Perfectly rested. Didn't play one down during the preseason. Kansas City, this guy's got a full tank of gas and is ready to roll. How do you feel? The greatest player I have ever seen.
I do feel good. I haven't played any preseason games, so I guess that's helped a little bit why I don't feel as sore. But yeah, man, I feel good. If I played in the games, I still feel good. I'll still be ready to go. So that's not really that much of a factor for me.
Now, yesterday, the Browns waived a guy that really played well for them in the preseason and played well the last couple of years with them, KhaDarel Hodge. So good luck to him. Today he was picked up by the Detroit Lions. The Lions also claimed the former Browns kicker, Austin Wide Right Seibert. The Browns signed 11 to the practice squad today. Here are some of the more notable ones. JoJo Natson out of the University of Akron, Porter Gustin, Johnny Stanton, who plays so hard, tight end Jordan Franks. Remember now, they can have 16 on the practice squad. They have 5 more spots to fill. Game 2 in Kansas City tonight for the Indians. They won Game 1 last night. This guy was the whole show. Ahmed Rosario, he went 5 for 5 in the game, including an inside-the-park home run. The last inside-the-park home run for the Indians. When was it? That's right, Laura Kay. So 2018, you're correct. It was Jason Kipnis that had the inside-the-park home run. The Indians ended up winning the game, and they are now 1 over 500 at 65-64. Logan Allen on the mound for the Indians tonight. He pitched well in his first start back from the minor leagues.
She knows everything.
I was surprised.
Yeah,
Very, very good. Yeah. Have you thought of hosting Jeopardy?
I should, though. I should.
Last time we'll see you for a few months.
I'm so sad.
No, you're not. You got a very
Mama Queso next time.
Labor Day weekend has a whole new meeting, girlfriend.
Have a good night.